There are many resources out there that can help you design a website really fast. So there are pre-made layouts, there's also chart themes. But the problem is they come with their own colors. Ideally, you want to brand your website and make it have your own character. So this is where you want to rebrand that chart theme or that pre-made layout. So what I've done is I've created a product that makes the whole process of choosing your colors very easy. So I have Colorizer for Divi. These are color palettes that are very easy to install. In fact, let me show you how you can rebrand a complete website using Colorizer. So let's first of all install our pre-made layout and then we're going to rebrand it. All right, so over here, we're going to add a pre-made layout. So I'm going to come over here and click on this plus button. I'm going to click on use this layout. We have our page now all loaded up. So the next step now is to install our color palette. So I've just opened my site in new tab. So we want to come all the way down here to Divi and then click on theme options. Now remember, we said we want to use our color palette called organic, which is this one right here. Okay, so let's install this by coming over here to portability. So I'm going to click here on these two arrows and then I'm going to click on import. Next, I'm going to click on choose file. Now I know my file is right here on the desktop. So I'm going to go into the folder and then I'm going to find organic, which is right here. Double click on it and then click on import theme options. So this is now installing our color palette. It's going to have all the colors that we're going to need all installed for us. All we have to do now is to go in, choose our colors and start applying them onto our page to rebrand our website. So the most important thing now is to choose your brand's main color. So what we need to do is to take a look here and see which color here is going to work as our main color. So I want to go with this color here as our main color and then build everything up from there. So now I can come to my page and hit refresh. So let's start working on our text. So I'm going to click here on this gear icon to go into my module settings. And then I'm going to start here with the main text on the top. Next, I'm going to give this a color. Now, the most important thing when you add your colors to your design is to make sure you have contrast. Next, I'm going to come over here and change this color as well. So I'm going to go with something like that. Okay, great. And then finally, we need to go to our button here and change the color of this button. So I'm going to click here on this gear icon. Now we can go to our design button and then we need to make sure use custom styles for button is activated. And then we want to add our background color. So I'm going to use my main brand color here as my background color. And then I'm going to scroll down further and add my border. Okay, so now my color has changed. And as you can see, I've just done some subtle changes here, but this is working great already. Next, I'm going to hit save changes. Now let's move on and go to our text over here. I'm going to click on this gear icon. Now for our text, I would like this to be very easy to read since we have a light background. So let's go in and add our color. So I'm going to click on this little icon here and add our color. So the color I'm going to use for my text throughout this is going to be this color right here because it works really well with our design. Next, I'm going to hit save and then we're going to come over here to our description text. Again, I'm going to go into my settings and then come over here to design. So for our description text, I'm going to use a darker color. So I'm going to go with this and I think this works really well because all these colors here are dark on a light background. I hit save. Next, I'm going to come over here now to my button and we're going to do the same. I'm going to show you a quick tip here and that is to copy my styles from the first button here to the next one. So I'm going to right click, copy module styles and then I'm going to come to this button here, right click, paste module styles. So you can see right away that this has been updated with my new styles. Okay, so all I have to do now is just to align this to the left. So I'm going to come over here to alignment and then align this to the left. I'm going to hit save and I can continue on here. Now we have this section here as well, but I would like to do something different here and add a background color just to show you how diverse our colors are and how we can use them. So for this, I'm going to use a color here. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with. So I think I'm going to go with this really dark one. Okay, I think this dark one really stands out. So let's use this and then add our colors. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to click on this gear icon and go straight into my text settings. So as you can see, we have a dark background here. So we really need light text for this to work. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to come over here to this text as well and do the same. Click on this little gear icon. And then I'm also going to add my color here. Now, I don't have WooCommerce installed, so I'm just going to go in and delete this. Next, we're going to come over to this section over here. So here, again, we have a large image here in the background, but I want to do something different here just to show you that we can go in and totally change the design of our section here. So I'm going to go to background and get rid of this background here. this background image. So I'm going to start off by adding this color here, and then I'm going to come over here to the image. So I'm not really a fan of this image here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So now you can see we have a completely changed background with a nice image here, which is looking great. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and change our text here. So let's go in and start by adding color. So I'm going to come over here and add my color. So I can either go with this very dark gray here, which I think really works well. And we're going to do the same for the text. So notice that I'm not even spending time designing or choosing new colors. Our color palette is just doing everything for us. Here I noticed that I've got quite a lot of text, so let me get rid of one of these paragraphs. Okay, so let's move on. So we also have this other section here. Now this one here, we're going to keep things very, very simple. Add a subtle color here in the background like that, but it's up to you because all this works great as well. So as we scroll down, you can see that this is really working well. We have our main colors here, and I think this color really works great here too. So I'm going to save that as my background color. And then over here, I'm just going to go into our text and change the colors of our text as well. So let's go in here and select our color. I'm going to save that, come over here, and we are going to also change the color so it's much easier to read. So let's go with a dark color as well. But if you want, you can also go with this. It's still readable on that light background. So let's go ahead and save. So far you can see that all I'm doing here is to just go in and change my colors. And this is working really well. Now I know here I can just paste my module styles. And now my color here for my button has updated. And we can continue on doing this until we have all the sections that we need and all the colors that we need. Now over here I can see we have an opt-in. Now let me quickly go in and customize this as well. So I'm going to go in by clicking on this gear icon. So we really want to change this button here so we have consistency. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a button here, and we are also going to make our button orange. So let's go ahead and do that and do the same to the border. Great. So now we have our button updated. Next, we're going to come over here now, and we want to use the colors that we have on our color palette. So let's start by playing around with colors here. I'm going to go with this light color, and this works really well from our color palette. Next, we're going to come over here now to our text, and again, we're going to use this dark color here for our text and do the same for the description. So our email opt-in now has been customized, and you can see now it's looking really nice. So for this area here, why not give this a background color and slightly change our design a little bit. So we're going to go in our row settings and give this a background color. So the color I'm going to give this is this one right here. Now let's give this some rounded corners by coming over here to design, border. So the reason why I'm doing this is just to show you that our colors here are going to work well together throughout the whole page. Next, we're going to give this a bit of padding. So let's scroll all the way down here to spacing. So we're going to give this about 2% to start with and see how that works. And we're just going to dial this in like that. So we're going to go with 3%. So let's do the same for the sides, just to give this some breathing space. Okay, so now that we have this, we can now save, and then it's time now to go in here and start customizing the text. So let's see what. Okay, so this is looking great now. I want to show you also something that we can do with our color palettes with this section here with the gradient. So let's go in here in our section settings, go to our background. Now we can see here that our gradient has been applied top to bottom. So now we can go in and choose our colors. So first of all, let's delete what we have here. So this is what it looks like without the gradient. So let's use our own colors. So I'm going to click here on this plus button. So right away, we can see we have these colors here, which are of course not from our color palette. So when I click here, I can now choose a color here from my color palette. So I can decide which one I want to go with. So I could go with that, or even this one. So let's see how this works. I'm going to add a bit of transparency here on the top. And then on the bottom here, we're going to use a different color from our color palette too. So for the second color, we're going to add some transparency. So now you can see that we have a hint of our image here on the bottom, which I think looks great. So as you can see, we've used the colors here from our color palette to create our gradient. So now this is our design with our new colors that we've added in. So you can see here our buttons have changed, our backgrounds. We have these vibrant colors now. new section colors. And I think this looks great. So this is what makes your website now look consistent. So you can imagine how this can look when you've done this throughout the whole website and all your pages have been updated. This is what makes a website look really, really professional. Now I have links to Colorizer. It has a 50% discount, links in the video description below.